What's going on, gang, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Today's just going to be more of a chit-chat video, right? We're going to sit here and vibe, and we're going to talk about Pikachu Battle Festa promos. We're going to talk about those and Pikachu in general. I kind of want to touch on this topic. We do have a World Championship promo coming out very soon. We just had the Scarlet and Violet promo. There's some really nice promos out there to include the Precious Pikachu Collector Box promo. So a lot of stuff to be looking at. And a lot of people are trying to differentiate what these mean, right? What the differences are between these. Because when you look at a Battle Festa promo, they are Japanese, right? They go up in value and they're centered around a Pokemon Battle Festa convention inside of Japan. And some of these cards look very similar to a Battle Festa promo, but they are not. An example would be the 7-Eleven promo. It's also the Indonesian KFC promo. So look that up. You can see it yourself. That was not a Battle Festa promo. Still very, very expensive. That was the Sword and Shield promo, not a Battle Festa. So the Battle Festa usually has flagship Pokemon surrounding the Pikachu. Pikachu kind of hopping out of the photo. Not everyone looks to be like a full art because you also have this one right here. Here's another example. This one is just a holo, right? So you have the full holographic star pattern all around the card from the 20th anniversary, but you only have Pikachu in the box and not covering the whole card. So that's a really nice one as well. I think 20th anniversary is one of the best years out there. And what's really cool about the 20th anniversary is that this Pikachu is not the only card that came from that Battle Festa, right? So we'll talk about that in just a second. The 20th anniversary has the most expensive Battle Festa out there. I know all of you seen it, right? It's Pikachu surrounded by the starters, the WotC Gen 1 Pokemon, Squirtle, you got Bulbasaur, you got Charmander, and they are all surrounding Pikachu. So that one is going for like $14,000 as a PSA 10. Now, this one is actually more rare than that card, but currently going for less. And I think this one is underrated for that factor. And we'll talk about that, like I said, in just a second. But there's also other Battle Festas. One of them has some evolutions in there. I believe it's Sylveon and Gengar. I think that one is also undervalued because it has went up to about $1,800. And a lot of these I purchased off of Buy E a few months ago before the market went crazy. And a lot of these promos could be picked up for like $300-400 in near mint condition. And every single one I picked up off of Buy E, I got as a PSA 10. I got back from PSA as a Gem Mint 10. Now, bear in mind, when you're on Buy E, if you use the proxy service Tenzo or whatever you use, you want to look at the seller data, the comments, and everything thoroughly, the pictures, just as you would if you're on eBay. Do your research. Don't just blindly buy something, and ensure that you use a credit card and pay through PayPal if you can, so you have protections in place just in case you get scammed. Because Buy E does not pay back for counterfeits or proxies. They say that very clearly. It don't matter what shipping plan you have, so just bear that in mind. Now, going back to the 20th promo, this one was actually held at a Battle Festa convention. And if you don't understand what a Battle Festa is, right, Japan has these once a year. Pokemon does. In different areas around Japan, which is just a tournament. And people that win the tournament, they can get a tournament prize card, which are really, really expensive because they're so coveted and rare. And then you usually have your Battle Festa cards. A lot of them are actually given out. So the one with the starter Pokemon was a freebie. People who attended actually got that card for free. It was given out. A $14,000 card was given out at the 20th anniversary Festa. Now, that worked off of a point system. So you earn points throughout the competition, and there were 8 trainers during the 20th that you could get for 2 points. Now, I think it was 4 points. There's a really nice magic card that you may want to look at that has gold and red surrounding it. That's a really beautiful and stunning card. I also think that one is undervalued right now. That's the Magikarp 20th anniversary from the Festa. And you also had a Mewtwo. A lot of people don't even know this one exists. You don't see it very often. A PSA 10 is still like $5,000. And I think that one raw is actually undervalued because I've seen it recently around $1,500, and that card is going for $5,000-6,000 is a PSA 10, and the raw copy was actually near mint, so it could grade a 10, possibly a 9, right? But even if it graded a 9, you're probably still going to make a profit. And then moving into the highest point category there is during the Festa is you had to gather 12 points. Now, in that 12-point bracket, you had two beautiful and stunning cards that you can look up, right? This one right here is the XYP 2016 Battle Festa. Now, the Mew and the Pikachu were both under the 12-point category, and they are both designed by Michihiro Arita, the original Charizard artist, and that's another reason why I think this card is currently not on people's radar, but it will be. I promise you it will be, and they are only going up. And I bring all of this up to say this, right? Pay attention to Pikachu promos. If they come from Japan, especially if they're a Japanese exclusive, say that again, right? A Japanese exclusive means they don't bleed over to the American market whatsoever. Those cards are going to go up in value. They always have. And for now, I think that they always will, as long as people love Pikachu and people love Pokemon. It's a flagship Pokemon. And a lot of people know about the Ponchos, the Marios, the Luigis, and we're not going to really dip into those, but even those boxes and those cards, right? The cards are like, I don't know, $3,000–$4,000 raw at this point for Mario Luigi, and I think one went for like $8,000–$9,000 for a Mario PSA 10. Recently, it was just like $2,200–$2,300. That wasn't that long ago. The movie Catalyst came out, pumped that card, so pay attention to Catalyst as well, right? Catalyst, rare cards, that's what's going to get you. Cards like this, freebie or not, right? This was 12 points, but if this one was given out, cards like this don't come in booster packs. They don't come in collection boxes. You cannot get these anywhere in the world except from the Battle Festa convention once a year. So not just this card, but cards like this in general from the Japanese market is going to carry value, right? The supply is low. The demand for Pikachu is high. I think a waifu, whatever you want to call it, fatigue is eventually going to set in, right? People are going to get tired of trying to pay $5,000 for every female trainer that comes out on the market, and not everybody can afford, majority cannot afford a $100,000 Lily. They just can't. So it's not going to happen. Fatigue is going to set in. And if you're trying to buy cards that are cheaper, look at the Pikachus that are coming out. The Precious Pikachu Collector Box is actually, in my eyes, still at a very cheap price point. I think $300–$400 for that promo is still a hell of a deal for that card. And you could probably pick it up, I don't know, who knows, maybe under that. Find a reputable trader, somebody you trust who has it, that you can trade for it. But that card right now is at a low price point. The ones coming out are at low price points. Even the Scarlet and Violet promo, which was recently like $11, is at a cheap price point. That card right now, graded as a 10, is like $60. And the last one that came out for Sword and Shield, I remember it being like 200. It's probably 400 plus now. But you want to pay attention to that stuff, right? 2, 3, 5, 10x your money. All of the Pikachu Battle Festas from around like 2016 until like up to now, right? Most of those cards were recently around $300. Around $300. And now all of them as a PSA 10 are like $1,300 and up. $1,800, $2,500. This card right now, raw, is probably around $2,800. You don't see many on the market. I would say probably around 4 or 5 on eBay. Raw, you're not going to see many. So if you see cards like this, near mint, pick them up. One last thing I want to talk about, right? And let me know, drop a comment if you agree with what I'm saying. You don't have to agree, that's fine. I know a lot of people don't want to dip into the Japanese market. They don't want to dip into Chinese, Korean, stuff like that. I spent a lot of time in Korea, right? I don't know about the Chinese market. I do know that it's new. I do know that the prices are starting to go up. And I do know that the Japanese market and the English market for so long has been so expensive now that it's incredibly hard to buy stuff. So people are going to look for cheaper alternatives. What is a cheaper alternative? The Chinese market, the Korean market, right? If I'm getting the same card, the Umbreon VMAX alternate art, and if I'm buying Japanese and I can't read Japanese anyway, and I can't afford the Japanese or the English, and the Korean version is like $180 to $200, and that's a fact, right? You can look on eBay comps. The VMAX alternate art Umbreon in Korean, same card, $180 to about $250 raw. It just sold for $1,100 is a PSA 10. I could literally pick up about 5 raw, near mint, Korean Umbreon cards, grade each and every one of them, and see what happens, right? See what happens. If they all come back as 10s, like probably wouldn't happen. The odds of that is really low, right? But say they all come back as 10s, and they could sell at $1,100 a piece. That's about $5,500. $5,500. That's $1,000 in, maybe about $1,500 in, and $5,500 out. So look at that stuff in the market, right? People are still buying Korean. People are still buying Chinese. I do think there is going to be an explosion in alternate language cards. Maybe not right now, not tomorrow, but they are selling. There is a demand for that. And don't forget, there is a country, Korea and China, that collect Pokemon cards that also buy internationally from eBay themselves. So bear that in mind. And product right now is also very, very cheap in Korea. China is starting to go up, right? The boxes and everything are starting to go up, and that's because they're releasing some older sets as well, so the nostalgia of those older cards. But I was just in Korea, and their Pokemon Center, they have one as well. They still have stuff like EV Heroes on their website for like 35,000 won a box, which is like 30 bucks. And they also have the Pikachu Precious Collector box for like 200,000 won, probably 180 bucks, just sitting on their website. It is just sitting there on Pokemon Center. So I hope y'all enjoyed this content. If you want to add anything, drop a comment below. If you like this stuff, like, subscribe, help your boy out. And I'll be back soon with another video, and I'll see y'all later. Out.